Hey y'all, we're back. But tonight it's just two of us. It's Cyrus and myself. Kevin, as many of you know, works retail, so he has to work a lot this week, and especially with Black Friday coming around. We told him to go enjoy his yoga classes and some relaxation before this craziness occurs. The producer was, originally said he was going to be able to join, but he's got a lot going on. His tire blew literally blew a huge hole in his tire driving home from work the other night. Battery died in it. Battery's fine now. He's got a spare battery, so he's got that. He had to get two new tires before he went back to school yesterday, and I know he's working a bunch this week. Um, so I don't think either one will join. If they do, that's fantastic. But again, I don't expect them to. It'll just be Cy and I for, probably 45 minutes. I don't think we'll be on here too long tonight, guys.
Yeah, yeah,
It's late for us. We're old. This is
yeah.
the old man crew right now. Even though Cyrus beats me by like 10 years still. I can start seeing some grays in that beard of yours over there.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. It's
You got
bad.
you gotta
I
start
yeah,
trimming
it's
that
bad.
down.
Nah, dude, I tried that and then it gets more. So I just cut it all off. I'm actually due for a haircut, to be honest with you. We had tryouts this week, so today
Oh,
was the first day of tryouts. I wasn't there because of work, but I'll be there tomorrow and Wednesday, but I gotta shave because I hate I hate running around whistle and getting sweaty and stuff with a whole bunch of hair on my face. So
I guess I am totally opposite of that. I can't not have a beard. If I don't have a beard, I look like a 5-year-old. So just imagine, just imagine that. It's not a good look. It's just not.
I don't know. Just imagine just Lucas smacking your face. Dad, you don't have no hair.
No, that'd be weird. He'd probably be like freaked out by that shit, bro. Um, no
You
way.
never know.
Yeah, no. Let's just dive into it
Yeah,
tonight. We got some good things to talk about. Um, so let's just start off with the NFL.
yeah,
Shador Sanders won his first game.
yeah.
He put some highlights out there.
Hmm.
Um, he should go smack the shit out of Jerry Judy, who decides to skip down the sideline and have the ball punched out of his arms on a third down.
He's an
Um,
idiot.
but even though Dylan Gabriel is clear to play this upcoming week, they're sticking with Shador.
I think me and you talked about this a couple weeks ago, and we both said that we wouldn't be surprised if this happened, only because it, once you get the first rep, once you get the first team reps with the team, once you start to have those, and again, the only that's like I said, the only bad shiny moment was Jerry Judy doing what Jerry Judy does, which is got him kicked out of Dallas and other places. Him playing like a jerk. I mean, he played. I mean, I watched part of that. He played a really clean game for the most part, knowing with the bad offensive line,
Hmm.
having to run for his life every other play. I mean, he played pretty well. And I don't think Dylan Gabriel would have been able to do that with that because he just the size and trying to look over people and the throws that were being made. I don't think it would have happened.
No, I don't. I didn't watch much of it. I just saw some of the highlights. I've seen the video of Myles Garrett watching the 66-yard pass. Um, and it's like everyone's like, he did it. He hit that. You're like, wow. Um, I, I'm kind of excited to see what he does.
Yeah,
Do I think he's going to be a generational talent or really, really good? No, I don't think he'll
no,
ever be that good of a player. He has too much hype around him, especially because of his dad.
yeah,
Um,
it's true.
but I do think he's going to have a good. I would say he rides out the rest of the season as a starter, unless he literally blows it. They play the 49ers on Sunday. Um, so yeah, he could legitimately blow it and have a horrible game, and they go, "Hey, we're going back to Dylan," which could happen. But
Yeah, I again, I would say if they lose the game and it's close and he plays well, I don't see them moving away from him. To your point, if he, you know. goes 0 for the century. He looks horrible. Yeah, I can see them going back to Dylan Gabriel, and then I can see him, going to, being a backup role, and that's probably where he's going to be for most of his playing career in the NFL. If not, you know, if he not unless he goes someplace else that really just doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that later. But definitely interesting to see what happens there. It's the Browns. They all suck. Just kind of how it is. They are not a good team.
Yeah,
I don't think they ever will be, to be honest. Um,
that's another one of those teams, and I'll say this real quick, and you'll agree with me when I say it. That's one of those teams where if they got rid of an owner, got a competent owner, and put an infrastructure in, they can actually be a decent team because they've had really good players over the last couple of years. They just haven't had the coaching.
I think they have the coaching. I think Stefanski is a very good coach.
But
Um,
he is. But I'm just saying, like this. Yeah,
they don't have the infrastructure, nor do they have the team around them.
right.
No, that you have good players, but you don't have like really, really good star players that are going to stay there. Like
Exactly.
you have Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett's phenomenal,
Right.
unreal, but he's not the guy.
Yeah.
You know, you have to build around that, and you need to build around your offense. And no, they went and got Deshaun Watson a few years ago. That train, I hope, or that boat has sailed
No, it's
at
gone.
this point.
He's gone.
But we'll see. I don't know.
Mm,
We have to just wait and see. Um, let's talk a little bit NBA though. Suns owner is there's reports from minority owners that he is mismanaging and mishandling the Suns. And what they mean by that is that he's using it as his personal little piggy bank, um, selling the naming rights to the arena, to his company, doing all of those things. Um, I didn't really read too much about it. I haven't paid too much attention, but that's kind of I know where things stand. It's just not a good look if this is all like true, because isn't he also the one that had like the issues with, the WNBA players and stuff?
yeah, he
So
did. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it'll be another Clipper situation like that for Ballmer bought the guy who had
Oh yeah,
guy who
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it'll be another situation like that. They'll find a way to force him out, and then they'll try to put another owner in place that'll do the right thing for the players and the team.
Yeah. Well, my dog is going crazy downstairs in his crate right now. I'm like waiting for my wife to say, "Can you go take care of him?" Which could happen, but
It can't. It could.
he's okay. He literally just went in there 10 minutes ago, so he's fine. It's just he just needs to settle down,
Mm,
um, which he will. If not, I'll go downstairs afterwards and just chill with him. But Chauncey Billups was charged with money laundering,
mm.
fraud, wire tapping, or something else, wire fraud. Pled not guilty, and his bail is at 5 million bucks. Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, I really don't have much to say about this anymore. Like this is what it is at this point in time. They're just I mean, like said, like we said all said before, that this lid is actually going to come off of this, and when it does, it's going to get all sports. It's just a matter of time before they get all the sports.
yeah.
Um,
I agree.
they already got was the other they got MLB, got two MLB
Yeah,
players
the two pitchers.
from the St. Louis Cardinals, and then they were talking about, and I think that they were looking into the NFL. I don't know if they got anybody. They were
Yeah,
looking into the NFL. So yeah, it's going to happen. It's just like we said before, man. And these things were continually going on. We knew they were going on at some capacity, and
yeah.
you know, even
Cyrus,
if
you keep talking. I have to just
yeah.
run down and grab the dog and bring him up here. So I will be right back,
All right,
everybody.
bring toasted up.
I will. I'll be right back, everybody.
All right, I'll keep talking. So yeah, at the end of the day, man, that's what it is. It's just it's going to be a very very long. And I know I'm talking to myself. Don't mind me. I have time to talk to myself. It's There's going to be times when this stuff is just going to come to a head, and everybody is going to just either they're either going to recognize it, or they're just going to have to find a way to eat it, and it's just going to be tough. All this stuff with DraftKings and poker tournaments and stuff like that. They're all going to be they're all regulated. I mean, it's just a shame. Why is this? What is wrong with this picture? If anybody's watching this, look at his picture. What what is that boy? That must be when he was like 18
There
years
we go.
old.
All right, I am back. Hopefully Cyrus kept talking.
I did.
Okay, good. No, my dog's laying in my office with me. Dude, he's fine. He just doesn't want to be in his crate for some reason.
Nah, I mean, was Luca up or was Luca asleep?
No, he's up. He's actually trying to put him to bed. So,
That's probably why, because he seen Luca was up probably.
no, he has no idea Luke is up.
No,
He can't see him, but
no.
there's just every so often we've had him now going on 2.5 weeks. Uh, every other night, maybe he'll freak out for a little bit, but be fine. Last night I got home from basketball and laid down there for a few hours and he just stayed in his crate, looked at me. I was like, okay, cool, and fell back asleep. I was like, okay, tonight, nope,
How's your league going?
3-0.
Nice, nice, nice,
Yep,
nice.
I think I'm averaging a double double. I don't really know. They only keep track of the scores, not rebounds or assists or anything.
Not
So
really.
yeah, I'm just assuming just because people like to double team me for some strange reason. I don't know why. I'm not that good at basketball to be double teamed. But hey, you know what? That's their prerogative, not mine. So, um, but let's talk Dallas Wings. They got the number one overall pick again in
Yeah,
the WNBA draft.
trying to build that Dallas area back up again. That whole Luka trade thing, and now Nico being gone. They're trying to fix it as much as they can. They realize that they let that go too far.
Well, they're not owned by the same team or by the same people.
Yeah, but you got to remember, right? Remember, the Houston Comets were down there, so there was like you had the Houston Commons, you had the well, I guess what are the Spurs, or not Spurs, what were they called? Something Stars, the team that went out to Vegas, that were the big
Oh, the San Antonio.
stars.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
like, so they had that, and those NBA teams were good then. I mean, so when they always see a big market like that, they can't see a big market not being used. Houston's the only really viable basketball team down there. San Antonio's okay. Um, so that's the thing. Like, so you see them, they're gonna have to try to build that market up between Wimby and Page and the rest of them, trying to build that market back up again, make it one of
No,
those things where everybody comes in and watches.
yeah, but I think this is WNBA really, or like I know the Wings were the worst team last year, by far, but this doesn't seem like it should have happened 2 years in a row, um, for some reason to me. But hey, we'll see if they can do anything. Uh, Apparently right now, Fudd is the number one overall pick, which is really weird to me because it's redundant on the Dallas team that has a lot of guards and small forwards when you probably need a big.
I could see them possibly making a move, like they would do in the offseason, possibly making a move to get one of those. I mean, honestly, there's a couple of bigs coming out in this WNBA draft that if they took them maybe late round, they might find a diamond in the rough. But
I think the girl from the UCLA is going to be unreal. I think she's going to be really good.
yeah, I saw I saw a piece of her. I saw some tape of her playing the other day.
Yeah,
She's really a talented player.
she's very good. She knows what she's doing. So
Hmm.
I think that would be great by them. But let's talk about why we're always here. West Virginia,
Yes,
doing
sir.
great things these days, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, last week, sadly, the women's team was knocked out of the NCAA tournament in the second round because they lost to Georgetown away in PKs. So the score was tied, I think, 3-3
Hmm.
and went to PKs. And you know, we all know what happens in PKs. It's goalie versus the ball and guessing the right direction. That's one of the
Yeah.
hardest things you ever can do in sports. And we guessed wrong and they scored. So they won. I saw the ending of it. It was very sad to see. Um, as of yesterday, the men's lost as well at High Point, 3 to
Hmm.
2 in regulation. So their season is over. I think they have like one or two guys that might actually be drafted in the MLS draft in the near future. Same with West Virginia and the NWSL. So that's some good things there. Always have been pretty decent.
Hmm.
I'm hoping to see them continue to be as good as they have been
Hmm.
past few years. Um, then you got men's basketball who decides just to do some goose eggs the past two games. One to who they play? I don't know. Georgetown? No, they didn't play Georgetown.
Yeah, they played. Hold on.
They played Xavier last night. I can't remember who else they lost to.
I see in a second. I watched part of that. I watched part of a couple of games.
I watched the
Right.
game last night a little bit. Um, what did we do? Who did we lose to? Schedule. Look at that. Takes 2 seconds. Do. Oh, Clemson. We lost by 3 to Clemson. We lost by 10 to Xavier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But you know what though? I'll be honest with you. With the team constructed as it is, to get some of these early losses is not a bad thing. Um,
no, I don't think it's bad either. You're also playing against teams. Clemson is a very fairly decent team. They
right.
have three guys that are 7 feet tall, that all can score. And you don't have really anything besides the one guy who's 6'11", 6'10".
Yeah.
Um, so to lose by 3 to them, it's fine. The Xavier game, we were up by like 15 at one point to start in the first half, and then Xavier went on a run, and they have some players that are older. This West
Yeah.
Virginia team is a mix of a couple of, like older players that have never
Mm,
played, they haven't all played together,
mm,
and some young guys.
mm,
And we just got one of the best recruits in the country just coming to our school too.
mm.
So you have a lot going on there. And it's okay. You're still
Right.
trying to meld together and get to know how each other play. You need Eagle staff to finally start shooting and scoring. You need Honor Huff to start hitting the threes as he
Mm.
has. Um, it'll hit strides.
Well, and we talked about this at during the last couple times we've done the March Madness. We talked about March Madness. It's better to it's better to be going on the high from the middle to the end of the season, going into the tournament, than it is to be at the beginning of the year and then falling out towards the end of the year, right?
Yeah,
So
no, I
you'd
agree.
rather be on a roll going into the tournament. Makes it a little bit easier because you confidence and understanding and everything else, as opposed to going in with some losses or getting, losing in a tournament badly or something like that. So
Yeah,
no,
and
this is a good thing sometimes.
that was your one tournament, and then looks like you have Maryhurst tomorrow. Oh, no, they have a week off.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
they have a week off.
most teams, if you're not if
They have a week off for Thanksgiving. Most teams are off.
yeah.
And then you play Coppin State a couple days later. So you have two layup games, quote unquote. So you can go to 7-2. Then you play Wake Forest. Then you play Little Rock, and then this is probably the biggest game on your schedule to besides the Pitt game until you hit your Big 12 play, and that's Ohio State
Yeah,
in Cleveland. So you're going to get a mix of fans. You're going to get a mix of West Virginia and Ohio State. Like that's
true.
we all know that.
Very, very true.
Um, so we'll see how that goes. If we can go into Big 12 play at let's just see. If we win the next two, we are 7-2. Little Rock. If we can go in at either 9-3, anywhere between 10-2 and 8-4, that's okay
Yeah.
for a team right now that's still figuring it out. And then you have one other layup game before that, and you have Mississippi Valley State. Okay, so you can be 11-2 or 9-4.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at the
Yeah,
rest of this, and looking at the rest of the schedule, I mean, you're you got games that are winnable,
oh,
as you,
100%.
yeah. So I mean, and like I would say right now, the biggest game towards the end of the year that you need to make you keep your eye on is the one against Kansas State and Oklahoma State. Not because just because of those are the type of teams that have tournament players. They have tournament grades to them. So you want to see how you gauge with those teams. In the Texas Techs of the world, so and the Baylors of the world. Like you just want to make sure you stay engaged with that stuff because now once the tournament hits, those are the tournament teams that those are guys that have like tournament players, tournament coaches. You get a feel for the stuff, right? And that's where that normally works. So they can go if they can go in, if they can go into the if they can go into if they can go into those games, on an upswing, that'd be great.
I think those games at the end, especially Kansas State, UCF, BYU to end your year. Those are going to be some tough games. BYU, of course, because they have right now the perennial
Yeah,
number one
yeah,
overall pick, which for some godforsaken reason, I really hope the Celtics just tank just to get the kid. Holy shit, that would be amazing. That's just another
yeah.
pipe dream that, hey, you know what? Let him go play for a shit team for a couple of years. Our guys will be a little older. Cooper Flag will be up for a contract. That kid will be up for a contract. Guess what? They both Boston boys. The Celtics would open up the piggy bank big. Come
I would, you know what? I could
play.
see that. I could see that. I really
Yeah,
could. I
I
could see
think
that in a
I
heartbeat.
think an AI bot generated Cooper Flag's career just like for shits
Hmm.
and giggles, and he plays his 4-year contract down in
Yeah.
Dallas, and then leaves and goes and plays for the Celtics for the rest of his career, and wins 2 championships with the Celtics. I was like, I'm cool with that.
You know the reason I could see that? Number one, Tatum's a dookie, right?
Yeah, and so
So I,
is
right. So I could see him, especially if Jalen Brown doesn't get his act together these next couple of years.
by Jason.
Why Jason Tatum is out. Sorry, I'm drawing. It's been a long day. um, why Jason Tatum is out. Like if he doesn't get his act together, like I could see Boston saying, "Listen, we love you here, but for some reason you can't go left, you can't do this, you can't do right, you can't do that. Like something's got to give,
I don't
you know."
think he's been playing very, very well without
Well,
Tatum.
he has. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but expectation, like with Tatum not there, can you take us to the next level
But you
like
can't
Tatum?
you can't do that. You can't you can't compare that because they're two very similar style basketball players, but
Mhm.
Tatum's at a different level than Brown.
No, no,
We all know that.
I
So
agree, I agree, I agree.
you can't say, hey, can take Brown can get you to a certain point, right? But
hmm
he needs somebody like Tatum, and Tatum needs someone like Brown. It is the Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan scenario across
Right.
any sport.
Well,
You
no,
always
and
need the
yeah.
one guy that's a little less talented than you,
hmm
but's willing to do the dirty work.
No,
And
and
that's,
yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying from the standpoint of
but you're not, if you're the Celtics, you're not sitting
no,
there
you're
and
not
they're,
looking. No, no, I'm not saying looking to break them up, but I'm saying like remember that year. Remember that year that Jordan left, right? And Scotty took over the team, right? And
hmm
when Scotty took over the team, it wasn't that the expectation was that he was supposed to take it to the championship, but the look of the team would have been the same, right? Again, obviously, expectations is you're missing a key player, but if you can look the same, and when you add him back, it takes you to another level. That's the goal, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he can't do it, that he hasn't done it, because he has done it to this point. But if he can't continue that, that might to your point, you're talking about AJ
but,
and Cooper Flag being able to come over and they could dump a
well,
salary off.
well, in the time frame that that happens anyway, it doesn't matter because Brown's contract would be up in 4 years anyway.
True, true.
So who gives a shit? Like it's null void. But also, what you're saying is you're basing it off of one player, right? If you
Mm,
watched any Celtics games this year,
mm,
the team is good.
mm,
They are nowhere near what they were last year, the year
right,
before, and nor
right,
will they ever be that same level
mm,
without Tatum and without some of those other role players.
mm,
This year, they're trying to mishmash it together just to kind of
mm,
make it into the playoffs.
right,
If they make it to the playoffs, they're going to lose in the first round.
mm,
To me, that's a win. That's a
right,
win this year.
right,
If you get the first overall pick, that's a win to me this year.
mm,
If you miss the playoffs and you don't get the number one overall pick, you lose the season.
right,
Right at the end of the day,
right,
because they can go do a lot of things
right,
this year. You know, it's a learning year for a lot of these
mm,
guys. Peyton Pritchard has never been a starter in the NBA. He's
mm.
starting a lot. And you're seeing what that does to him. He's much better
The bench,
off the bench
yeah.
than anything else. But nope, that's getting off the point of
Yeah, so
subject.
there's a team. Like, we
Women's
always do.
basketball though is still killing it for West Virginia.
Yeah.
They are legit killing it. I think they are 7-0 right now. Um, 6-0, and they play Ohio State on
They have
Wednesday.
they have a very well-rounded team. Just even the
They're
game
very,
of the game where they got where the kid Raw where everybody got kicked out from coming off the bench and they only had the five players. They have a very and I watched them before for a couple games. They are a very well-rounded team, but you
they
can
brought
see how
in the
much.
right players
Yeah.
for this coaching staff. And I'm not saying they didn't have the right players before because they did. They've had a very
Yeah.
good team for the past 3 to 4 years.
Mm,
They're making the progression to get even better. And they're
mm,
number 20, I think they're ranked at number 23 in the big in the polls, but they just beat the crap out of McNeese State. And
mm,
they're down in the Bahamas doing the Bahamas um, championship tournament, 83-63. Now they're going to go play Ohio State on Wednesday at 1:30, which work. Guess what I ain't doing after one at 1 o'clock? I'm gonna watch West Virginia basketball. Um, then they play Villanova, Maryhurst, Texas Southern, Georgia Tech, Texas A&M. Then you get into your Big 12
they're
play.
21st. They're 21st right now.
Nice. That's even better.
21st, yep.
So then you got Houston, Kansas, Kansas State, Texas Tech, Iowa State, TCU, Cincinnati, Arizona State, BYU, Utah, Baylor, Colorado, Arizona, UCF, TCU, OK State,
Mm,
and UCF, Cincinnati. The only teams I know from the Big 12 that are still supposed to be pretty decent are Baylor, of course, um, Arizona State, after they just had
mhm,
the most ridiculous buzzer beater I've ever seen in my life. Arizona is always good. And of course, Kansas
mhm,
and Texas Tech.
right,
Maybe TCU or Kansas State sneaks in
mhm,
there, but I think at the end of the year, you have a good shot at
yeah,
pushing the envelope for this team. They're definitely a tournament team. They're a top 25 team
Mhm.
for sure. Should have been ranked in the top 25 way before the beginning of the season. Um,
But
but
we
you
all know
know,
how we all know how that goes. That beginning of the year,
there's no love for West Virginia. We all get it. Everyone hates us for some god awful reason. Don't understand it. But hey, they hate us because they ain't us, right? Um, then we have senior day for football this Saturday. They play Texas Tech. I am,
and I didn't. No offense. I see.
I don't
I
know.
yeah. I see a drumming coming. I see them by halftime. I feel as if they'll be yeah
It could be a lot to a little.
yeah.
But we'll see. You know, Texas Tech may not put starters in, may not have certain players playing because of getting to the Big 12 championship game, but they also need to win that game because if they lose and Utah wins, it'll be Utah versus BYU, I think, for the Big 12 title. Um, and if Texas Tech wins, then it would be Texas Tech versus BYU, I believe, for the title.
And
So
doesn't this determine where they end up in the college football
no,
championship?
because it's
No.
supposed to be that the Power Five, you get one team, you get a minimum of one team from each Power Five, depending upon who wins their
Hmm.
their conference.
Hmm.
So you get five teams right there. Then you fill in the other seven after that. Um, but I don't know how they'll rank them. You know, if Texas Tech wins or BYU or
Hmm.
Utah, who have all been in the top 15 this year.
Hmm.
And they're all very, very good teams. So we'll see. I, God, I just don't want any of them to be in there. I hate them all. If I had to vote for pick one, it would either be the Raiders or the Utes, just because I have friends that went to both schools. So, um, but let's talk about next year's football team because they just got some big time commits
Hmm.
to come to the school. Everyone knows last week on the Pat McAfee show, Kevin Brown, who is a legacy, his
Hmm.
dad played at West Virginia for 4 years
Hmm.
under Rich Rod,
Hmm.
decommitted from Penn State officially last Sunday
Hmm.
and was on McAfee's show, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, and announced he announced right after the kid for the basketball player announced the day after announced that he was going to West Virginia.
Hmm.
He is a stud. Dude is like
Yeah.
6'7", 300 something pounds, but he is solid.
Hmm.
He is an offensive lineman. He makes your offensive line, the moment he steps on the field,
Hmm.
100 times better.
You can run behind him. You can. As a matter of
Oh,
fact, as a matter of fact, just you put a screenplay out there, put him out in front.
oh,
He just mow everybody down.
he can move, and that's the best part. And I was listening to one of the podcasts I listened to for West Virginia, and they were saying his dad, once they knew that his dad was so mad because his son agreed to go to Penn State, right?
Hmm.
When Franklin was there. But he was so upset because his son announced it before Rich Rod was hired.
Hmm.
And he was like, oh no, 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 no. Like, I didn't want you to go to West Virginia because Rich Rod wasn't there. Like he
Hmm.
wanted his son to play under Rich Rod.
Hmm.
And then when that came out, he's like, oh, okay. And then all this stuff happened with Franklin being fired.
Hmm.
Now he's at Virginia Tech, which he's literally going to turn that team into a powerhouse. I cannot wait to watch see what he does there. Because he's going to take every player that Penn State's going to try to get, and he
Hmm.
is going to get them all because that man is a good recruiter. Um, but he then decommits. Now he's at West Virginia. I think that what I've heard is they're trying to see if he can graduate in December
Hmm.
so that he can be there for spring ball. Um, so that'd be great. We also landed the number one JUCO wide receiver in the country with Keon Hutchins. Then, to just icing on top, right? A little bit more. We got another top five JUCO wide receiver in Kendrick Triplett. So you have two of the top five wide receivers in JUCO.
Hmm.
coming to your team next year, which now you have a very loaded wide receiver room. With I can't remember the kid who got hurt at the beginning of the year. I
Oh
can't remember his name.
yeah, the last thing.
So he
Yeah,
starts with a B. But so you
yeah.
have him. You then have, why am I freaking spacing on my team, my football team? My
Dude,
God. You have Cam Vaughn, then you have Cam Vaughn. You
Cam
then
Vaughn.
have Rodney Gallagher. Um,
Right.
and then you have all these players. So it's like, okay, all right, this is fantastic. This team is going to have some very, very good players on this. Then, as of this afternoon, we decided to go sign the top three JUCO running back
Mhm.
with Martavius Bennett. I don't know if he's related to the Bennett brothers. That'd be kind of funny if he was, because then he's a complete psycho. But from what I was reading, is he's like a Ty Edwards type player, a
Mhm.
big bruising type back. Then next year you come back with Jaheim White, Ty Edwards, because he did get a medical red shirt because he did not play enough to. So he, I believe, will come back.
Mhm.
Um, you could bring in some of these kids that have been playing this year, right?
Right.
You start building this, you're going to be going from shit,
Mhm.
right? The bottom of the totem pole
Right.
to 100% being a great team. And the guy who I was talking about was Jaden Bray. So he does, I believe he does get a medical red shirt. So he'll be
Oh
back
yeah, because
next
he
year.
you know he played what all of maybe a half the game, not
He
even that.
played, he played the first game and then he played Ohio and then he got hurt.
Hurt. Right.
He got hurt in the first half, first
Right.
quarter. Um, so you have some really good guys coming in.
Which is to your point, and I think again something we had a conversation about. This is this is this is a good thing. That's why you wanted Rich Rod to come back because
Hmm.
the talent evaluation was so much better. And then now you can start putting this team together. And now, again, maybe he might not get to the championship series, something like that right away. But you get enough talent out there, you'll get people that want to come play for you. And then you can start making those strides, which is the whole point of all this, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy in a sense. Plus, I'll be honest with you. As selfish as it sounds, it just means that when we get to go to more games, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more, worth go. Like it's not that we weren't going to go before, but now it makes put a little teeth in it. Got a little something in the game for us to watch the game, just like we're not worrying about just go watch just to go watch it. Now you're watching to see where we end up at, where things go at, and maybe one day we'll be excuse me maybe one day we'll be in the
Boy,
championship
Natty.
game in the natty. You know what I'm saying? We'll make a wee out there in the natty.
That'd be
You know,
awesome.
that would be.
But yeah, so it's going to take some time, but I am excited to see what this team does. I think the biggest thing, like we've mentioned last time we were all on here, we're talking about what we need to do. They still need to go find some O-line help.
Yeah.
Um, they need to shore up their defense, and then they really need to. I know there's going to be some really good quarterbacks going into the transfer portal.
Mhm.
Do you just say, you know what, we found our guy and you keep him here, you keep Scotty Fox happy? Does Nico come back? There's a lot of question marks in the quarterback room. You're losing, I think, what we said, three. You'll probably keep two out of the five,
Mhm.
four that are there now. I don't know if you keep Wilkins because he and Scotty are the exact same age, play the same position. Hmm, maybe. But I think Wilkins should just switch to wide receiver. I think he'd be much better. He could be a dual threat somewhere and do something like that where you can do a wildcat with him. But
No,
Scotty's got the arm.
especially with the way the NFL is going right now. Yeah, you probably could.
But we'll see. I'm excited. It'll be a fun thing to watch as the season ends for West Virginia on Saturday. It does not matter. We're not going bowling. We're not bowl eligible. We lost to Arizona State 2 weekends ago now.
Mhm.
So we will not be in a bowl. But that's okay. We got to five, what, 4 wins.
Better than they were
uh,
last year. Way better than what they were
better,
last year.
better overall team. The results weren't there just because you're trying
Mm,
to build a program back up,
mm,
and you're getting there. We'll figure it out
right.
this off season
Yeah.
and be better. Uh, but let's go talk about a couple of things. I know we Cyrus, you sent this one over to top five quarterbacks that need a change. So I called it the QB change up. Um,
Good call.
what QBs need a change of scenery in the NFL that would make them, let's just say, a top 15 quarterback?
Yeah.
Because top
Yeah, me too.
five, top 10, I think we could all sit here and say exactly who are those top five, top 10
Yeah.
quarterbacks are, and
Yeah.
that's not going to change.
Right.
Your order could change,
Hmm.
but those top 10 guys will
Yeah.
not change for until a couple of them retire or get hurt. But who do you think out of all, I want to say 32 starting quarterbacks, but we've had like 20, 45 starting quarterbacks this year. Um, Out of the quarterbacks that are out there now, who needs the change of scenery most?
Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh,
I say that because that man hasn't had a steady head coach, and it was just this is third or fourth year. I'm trying to think, is fourth year,
it's his fifth year, I think.
fifth year, fifth year playing, hasn't had hasn't had a stable infrastructure or team around him. Yeah, he's had some decent or great players, but he hasn't had, to your point, he hasn't had it all put together. And I think he would, if you put him where a a really good front office and a coach that understands how to let the players play or to put them in the right place to succeed, I think that Trevor Lawrence will be a top 15 quarterback. I mean, I think he's close now. I think a change of scenery would help him out a lot. You put him with the top 10 wide receiving with the top 10 wide receiving group, I think that's going to make him even better. Right now, he just has a running back. I mean, no offense, but he doesn't have a stud wide receiver to throw the ball to. And the one guy that he might have had is injured now. So for the
Yeah,
year. So yeah, so that ain't happening.
that's true. That was an interesting one. I didn't think of him. Um, for me, it's anyone that ever plays for the Jets. Um, let's just be, I'm gonna say that, or um, we saw what happened with Daniel Jones. We've seen what happened with Sam Darnold.
Right.
I think somebody that needs a change of scenery is someone that just changed scenery.
Mm,
And that's Geno, in my opinion. Geno Smith, he
I
is,
agree.
everyone likes to say he's a bad quarterback, this and that. Can we look at just what just happened? The Raiders just fired their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly,
Mm,
literally after the game yesterday. Their offense was horrible. They
mm,
couldn't run the ball. They
right.
took a running back in top five
Mm,
who's supposed to be unreal. Dude hasn't shown up, but that's because they haven't played his type of football. So they need Gino needs a good running back and a decent wide receiver. And that's it. And he can sling the ball. He can. We all know it. We've all
mm,
seen it. I've seen him throw for freaking 450 yards in a game. Unreal.
mm,
So I think Gino needs that change of scenery. And he needs to go to a team that has an established core,
mm,
but they're missing that quarterback.
right.
I could see him being very, very successful in
Mm,
Minnesota
I
because
can see
let's
that.
be honest, the JJ McCarthy era and experiment is over.
Yeah,
The
it's done.
Vikings really screwed the pooch on that one and letting Sam Darnold go.
Well, even
Um,
letting Daniel Jones walk out the building too. I mean, you could have either one of
yeah,
those guys play, and you
you
still
had them both.
Yeah.
You had them both, and you said, no, nope. I think you screwed the pooch. JJ McCarthy is not that good.
Hmm.
Eh, He's supposed to be, everyone's like, oh, he's supposed to be great. He's going to be better than Drake May and Bo Nix and this. Well, guess what? Bo Nix and Drake May are in the top five for the MVP right now. Respectfully. Granted, they're both playing not so great teams.
Hmm.
Broncos have a tougher schedule than the Patriots, but JJ McCarthy ain't ever going to be that. JJ McCarthy's going to be your boy sitting on the sideline being like, this is fun. Look at this is look at the game. Like he ain't going to do shit.
Right.
So if I'm the Vikings in the offseason, I look for exploring from trades because we all know the class for this year for quarterbacks is going to be god awful. It's not that good. Even last
Well,
year's class isn't
well,
good.
if you think about it, if Minnesota does, you know who's going to ask for get the lead, right?
Hmm?
You know who's going to ask one out, right?
Oh,
If they don't.
Justin
Oh,
Jefferson's gone.
yeah,
But like,
yeah.
but that's the thing is if you're the Vikings and you go to Justin Jefferson and say, "Hey, look, we want to keep you. You are the number one player on our team." And he is. He's 100% the best player
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
team.
Mm,
I think he is a phenomenal wide receiver. I think he's a phenomenal human being for what things he does off the field.
mm,
He keeps himself out of trouble. You don't ever
right,
hear anything bad about him.
right.
I think if you're the Vikings, you go to him and say, "Look, I think we screwed the pooch on this. We thought JJ was going to be better than what he was.
Hmm.
Talent evaluation, blah blah blah. What is the quarterback that you would want to play with realistically that we would be able to get? Give us a top five list." You do that because you need to show that you respect this man
Hmm.
enough. You have a very good defense in Minnesota. When that team's healthy, they're scary. They are. They're a scary
And
team.
their wide receiving core is top notch. Like
Yeah.
they don't
When
have any
they're
bad holes in that wide receiver core. They don't have
just
any bad holes.
just when they decide to take PEDs or do something stupid, then they have holes.
Right,
Um,
but
but
right. Yeah.
they need that quarterback. And someone like Gino could step in. Someone even like Trevor Lawrence could step into
Mm.
that role and do very, very well. Um, Somebody else that just came to mind as we're talking is, oh my God, why is his name now his name just slipped. Oh my God. Oh,
AFC.
um,
AFC,
wow.
NFC.
I can't. It literally just slipped my mind. It'll come back if it is important. It'll come back to me.
The other guy I had on my list, the other guy I had on my list was Joe Burrow. The
Yes,
other guy
that's what I
from
was going to say.
oh,
Actually,
yeah.
yeah.
Joe Burrow. If it, I will say this, I know I'm a 49ers fan, and I'm gonna say this. If I am the 49ers,
If I'm the
not
49ers, I'm starting Mac Jones over Brock Purdy because Mac Jones is playing better than Purdy.
I was getting ready to say something like that, but here's a problem I have with Mac, right? Mac Mac has the same problem that Brock has to a lesser degree. And that's this. His consistency isn't there. And I don't know if it's because you don't have a top wide receiver over
Hmm.
on the other side, right? On both sides. Like you have Purcell, who's a nice player, but this is only the second year. And he is coming off an injury where he did get shot or he almost died. And so and you have you have your tight end, you have your but how much longer will you have those other guys, right?
Well,
So
you're not going to
now
have Ayuk because you guys just fucking up getting a $120 million contract. So,
well that was the reason why I didn't want to give him the money in the first place because he screwed it up the last time and because he wanted to get the same money as Debo. You can't do that. But to belabor my point, right? This is the reason why if you have a chance to go out and get those guys like a Devontae Adams, a Justin Jefferson, and AJ Brown, the guys that go out that are going to go out week in and week out, if you give them the targets, they're a 6 catch, 7 catch, 80 to 100-yard game. That's the guy you need. That's the guy you need as your primetime player, your best wide receiver, because every game he's going to give you that. right?
Hmm.
And if I'm the 49ers and I can afford to say, if I keep Mac Jones as a backup, I'd be okay with that. But if you go get Joe Burrow, put him in the lineup, go get you a number one wide receiver. Look, at this case, Jamar Chase might want to go with him to this point because the
Oh no,
Cincinnati's just that bad.
Jamar, if Burrow leaves Cincinnati,
Mhm.
Jamar leaves Cincinnati.
Yeah,
100%. There's that ownership there is horrible. They're one of the worst run organizations besides the Cleveland Browns, and it's funny that they're both from Ohio. Um, yeah, I 100%. If one goes, the other goes.
but I mean that's what I'm saying. So if the 49ers did that, I think you can put them in the Super Bowl for the next 2 or 3 years. Now again, I don't think it's one of those runs where they'll be there for like a decade, but for the next 3 to 4 years, you can worry about them because they'll have the running game, they have the offensive line, they'll have the running back, they'll have the wide receivers, they'll have the defense, they'll have all those things, right? So now you get back to what your Kyle Shanahan play calling is: run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, keep throw it.
Yeah.
He can go back to his formula that does this to winning. Can't do that now. So um one more quarterback in this seat, then we can move on with
One more quarterback that I could see that needs to change the scenery is one that probably could surprise a lot of people that I'm going to say this name,
mhm,
and that would be Herbert. And it's because the Chargers are mediocre.
mhm,
You know, you've given him some decent weapons. Keenan Allen is his best option.
mhm,
Um, he's played very, very well every season. He's had some
mhm,
turnover issues to start, blah, 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 figures his stuff out.
mhm,
He is a guy that even when he was in Oregon
mhm.
needed a go-to weapon. He
Right.
does not have a go-to weapon. And
Mhm.
I don't watch the Chargers enough to really know everything about them.
Well, they,
Um,
they don't have they don't have they don't have like a they don't have a well they got Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen's long in the tooth right now. He's what on his to 10th, 11th year in the league. I mean, so
yeah, he is
he's
far
not a spring chicken
beyond,
anymore. Yeah.
yeah, like he is far beyond what they need. But he's one of those guys. If you could go and put him on a team, say like Miami or even the Jets before they decided to just destroy their whole team and give up on
Hmm.
everything. He was a he could have done something for you
Right.
where you know, oh, we just needed a quarterback. Okay. That's it. That's all we needed. That's it. We
Right.
got this. He's that guy I think that could do well for you. You know, let's see, looking at the Chargers right now, they're 7-4. They're second in
Hmm.
the AFC West. They're
Right.
behind the Broncos.
Hmm.
Their running backs room is completely blown to shit. Their number one running back probably was their third or fourth option this year. That all the
Hmm.
other ones are on IR. They have Lad McConkey, who's a great court wide receiver.
Hmm.
They have Quentin Johnson and Keenan Allen. They're very, very thin at all these areas that they need to have good players at. You know, they don't have any good tight ends. Like he is the guy that just needs to move into a different team that has a good running back and a good wide receiver.
Hmm.
He would be a guy, like you said, with Purdy going somewhere else, or if you brought Burrow there, he, I think, would thrive better
Hmm.
in that offense
Hmm.
because he can run
Hmm.
if he needs to. He needs to run more. Um, but like this team is old for the most part.
Hmm.
Um, and he's young. He's only third, fourth year in the league.
You want to know something crazy? Had Miami taken him when they were supposed to instead of Tua, I don't think we'd be talking about him needing to change the scenery
Mm-mm. I
because
don't
he
think
would
so
have
either.
because he would have had himself Tyreek Hill. He would have had himself Waddle. He would have had who's the other wide receiver they let walk, but was a really good wide receiver for them. There was another one. I can't remember the guy's name. It's out of my head. But they remember because remember it was the three of them. They always lined the three of them up.
Oh
Tyreek
yeah,
was Tyreek was the X. I can't remember the guy's name. I swear, I can't remember the name. But they let him walk. They let him walk away because they were like they just couldn't. He didn't want to stay. But if he was in Miami when all those guys were there, I highly doubt that we'd be talking about him wanting to leave. Maybe we'd be talking about maybe he need a new coaching staff, or maybe he needs another explosive player, or the defense needs to get better, something, right? But I don't
yeah.
think we would have been worried about him not doing or playing his part in getting to where they need to go. No, I actually agree with that one. I mean, looking at across the league, there's really nobody else that probably. I mean, if they leave, they're going to make a tremendous splash, or going to be able to make a tremendous splash. And plus, every other team just about has their quarterback. But I will say this: and here's a long shot. Then we can move on. If Josh Allen really wants to, and sorry, Andrew, but Josh Allen needs to change the scenery somewhere down the line if he doesn't get it done.
I don't think he needs to change the scenery. I think they need to actually put players around him that'll be successful.
Well, no, I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying in order for them to do that, I think they would have to move on from him, because I think they would have to either unload a lot of the defensive players that they have, or find a way to manipulate it to gain more players. And you give up something. In order to get something, you got to give up something, right? So I don't know what they can give up, because right now they're bare bones as is now. What can they give up to get something to make him a better player, make him a better quarterback? I don't know. And maybe the solution is to subtract him, to put him someplace else so he can thrive, so you can get whatever back, to maybe find a way to get another quarterback that you could do it with. But
I don't know.
that's one of those long shots. If he doesn't get it done this year.
Yeah, those would be the ones that I think
Yeah.
I'm not going to agree with your Josh Allen take because Josh Allen is Buffalo and Buffalo would legit be the
Well,
dumbest decision in the world if we ever moved
no, no,
on from him.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that's a long shot in the thought pattern of, if it doesn't get done and they don't win because of X, Y, and Z, that could be something that they look into.
Andrew just got out of work.
Yeah, I
Um,
seen that.
all right, so the NBA season, we are 20 plus games. Yeah, close to 20 games in for
Mm.
each team. Um, quick rundown, surprises and disappointments. So far, which team has surprised you the most in the NBA, and which has been a big disappointment?
Um, Sorry, my son was making fun of me. I had to throw something at him. I well, the biggest surprise to me is my Chicago Bulls. Man, we are playing
Yeah, yeah,
well,
number seven.
playing well, playing well, and that's a surprise that we're getting as much as we are out of Vukovic. So I mean, maybe getting rid of the guys that played a lot of ISO ball did it for us. Now we can move the ball. We play as a team. It's a little bit better offensively movement. Defensively, we get at it. So, no offense to Zach Levine and Lamar, but oh yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's what we needed. You know, um, team is disappointing me. Honestly, the Clippers. I'm just not really feeling the Clippers. I feel it.
Even they're at number technically they're the 12th.
they're just kind of disappointing me with all the moves they made. I thought they'd be better. I thought they'd be a better team. Not so much wins and losses, but you know what I'm saying? Like a better team. Like I just watched them. They don't look like they're a better team. It just looks like they're kind of there, but they're not there. And I think that's kind of scary, knowing full well that West is so talented and you
Yeah,
can't. I don't. How can you can't drop 5 games and hope to make them up towards the end of the year. So I don't think you could do that. Not in the West, not right now. I mean, Golden State is not even playing well. Golden State is playing better than them. Like just they have injuries and stuff. They're still playing better than them. So how do you? Yeah, that's just me. I mean, everybody else is playing way, above their head like they're supposed to. But how about you,
yeah.
sir?
To me, biggest surprise, Detroit Pistons. They've been bottom feeders for probably the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Um, and right now they're number one. They're 14-2.
Hmm.
And I don't know their schedule. I don't know who they've played. They could have been playing the shittiest teams in the league so far. Um, and they're winning the games they're supposed to. So who
Hmm.
cares? You win the games you're supposed to win, right? If
Yeah.
you, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Um, that's my biggest surprise in the East.
Hmm.
For me on the West side, West Coast, biggest surprise is probably going to be the Lakers with the way they're playing without LeBron, which is
Hmm.
great because now you're seeing what the team can do without him.
Hmm.
Um, now I hope with him coming back, does that if it changes up the dynamic? I hope it doesn't. Um, it still to me doesn't prove that JJ Redick's a good coach because I don't think he is.
Hmm.
It, but we'll see. Truth be told, I don't know. Um, biggest disappointments. I can't say the Washington Wizards because they're just never going to be good.
Hmm.
The Pacers, they don't have their best player. They lost Miles Turner. The Hornets suck. The Brooklyn Nets just suck.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say the Celtics because I wasn't expecting them to even be this good. Um, I would say my biggest disappointment, though, would have to be the 76ers. Even though they're number 8 in the East,
Hmm.
they are supposed to be. This is the year where you, as the 76ers, say, when we're fully healthy, we
Hmm.
need to run train on everybody.
Right.
There's no team that's more front loaded than you. You have one
Right.
of the fastest point guards in the league in Maxey. You have supposedly the best big man in the league, what they keep
Supposedly.
saying, in with Embiid. You
Hmm.
have Paul George, who, when he is healthy, is a terror
Hmm.
on the court.
On
And
both
then you
ends,
have,
not on both
yeah,
ends, not
on
just
both
one, on both
ends.
ends. Yeah.
And then you have a team full of good players around them. Y'all need to make this shit work
Hmm.
because it's closed, the window closes. If you do
Hmm.
not do anything this year, maybe next year,
Hmm.
the window closes, all three of those players are gone. And you're
Yeah.
starting all over.
Yeah.
And
I can see
Embiid
that.
goes down as one of the biggest flops in 76er history. And
Yeah.
that's not a
Yeah.
bad thing. It's not anything against him. I think he's a
Hmm.
great player, but he
Right.
can't stay healthy. The
No.
man is kind of a joke on that end. Then you look at the West. I'm not going to say the Clippers because you used them. Um, I think my biggest disappointment is Memphis.
Eh,
You've got
yeah.
the reigning one of the reigning defensive players of the year in Jaren Jackson Jr. He's probably going to get shipped out because he's too good
That
for that
that
team.
team's getting broken up at the end of the
But
year.
like
That's the another
you
point.
have John Morant who can't figure out that he's not a gangster, but wants to be, and he's still being an idiot kid.
Hmm.
Like you have good players. You let Desmond Bain go for nothing. He's now in the Orlando Magic and they're playing good basketball. Granted, they lost to the Celtics last night because they literally had a bench of two.
Mm.
It is the only reason they lost is because they had no bench. But like, come on. You're supposed to be better. At this point, you should be in the top five in the West
And they
with a
let go.
team.
They let go of their coach, who was a top 10 coach in the league.
Yeah, and actually had the respect of Ja and the team. Now Ja hates the coaches. They don't get along. The rumors are that they're going to ship him out. If you ship Ja out, guess what? Ja, you ain't going anywhere good. You're gonna go to a place like Charlotte. You're gonna go to a place maybe a good team will say, "Hey, yeah, I'll take a risk on you." Maybe the Heat do it. Maybe the Cavs do it. Maybe Toronto does it. That actually might be good for you. Get you the hell out of the United States. Go to Toronto. Go to Canada for
Well,
half the year.
reading a couple stories that were out to the past couple of weeks, right? They're they kind of pulled out the I know we're running on time, so I'm trying to make this quick. They pulled out their owners or the teams, I guess owners, whoever else runs, the managers, the general managers, stuff like that. And nobody really wants to take a shot with them. And I don't really blame them. I mean, only for the reason where that team was so dynamic and so good that team should have been in the West Conference Finals the last couple of years. But due to injuries and job being suspended and everything else, nobody wants to take a flyer on him. Nobody wants to give their best assets to get John Morant to sit down for 25 games because he can't keep his act together.
No, I
That's the problem right there. I mean, they were talking about maybe he ends up in New York, but I don't think Mike Brown wants him as a headache.
no.
He
The only rumor that I heard about New York is Karl Anthony Towns for Anthony Davis.
No, I'm just saying in general.
No,
I'm
I
just
know.
saying in general. Yeah, I'm just saying in general. Like I don't see any of the top 5 to 7 teams taking a flyer on him to make them better because he they don't know when he's going to turn into the other John Morant. His dad isn't helping. His
No,
dad
no
isn't
one's helping.
helping. Yeah, nobody's really helping him. And they're like, well, people are like, maybe if he goes to an organization that's more down to earth or grounded with structure may help him, like Miami or someplace else. But
Yeah, you're gonna put him in Miami? Great.
yeah, that's you're inviting danger. You can't. I mean, if they had an expansion team, I would say ship him out to the expansion team because that'd be probably the only thing that'll get him back into playing being straight. Because
Put that motherfucker in. If they added a team in Seattle, put that motherfucker in Seattle.
yeah, you're out in Seattle, nobody watches you play, and you know what? If you make the playoffs, great. If you don't, so be it.
Yeah, no one's gonna be mad about it.
It rains every day. It it rains just about every day. Miserable
Yeah.
weather. I mean, but I don't see him. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, he may end up, for all we know, they're talking about maybe there was a thing where they talked about maybe him and Zion wind up ending up together in New Orleans
Great.
because
The fat guy and the skinny guy.
they
That'd be
played
a,
together. Yeah. No.
that'd be horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, but they were saying maybe he ends up there, but yeah, I mean
I don't know.
but
I'll
they
be
got the one
intrigued.
but Memphis does have a couple of nice young players that if they move on from Ja and a couple of other players, they'll be okay for a couple of years. But just to your point, those young players are going to wind up wanting out too because they'll not want to sit around and not win anything, right? They'll want
Right.
out, you
Yeah.
know. They'll want out to go play go play for Steve Kerr or play for give me another coach.
Missoula, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, who's in what's Nick Nurse. I mean, any one of those top players. I mean, and if Orlando turns out to be that much of a better team, I could see people wanting to play for Jamal Mosley. I I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it's just, but that's that's the part where I think this generation has missed what they had in the 80s and 90s, which was structure, which was, the coach was the ultimate the not was the ultimate rule, right? He was king.
Right. And we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
We can always harp on that. The coaches in the NBA you replaced, I sent it to Kevin and Andrew the other day. They are the ones that get blamed for everything. Now they have the shortest leash. It wasn't that the players were on the short leash, it's now the coach. If you don't win today, you're a
Hmm.
failure. You're never going to coach again. Well, guess what? Mike Brown is coaching again. He has failed, besides the stint in Cleveland where they
Right.
were okay and where he had a great team in the Kings, and then the
Hmm.
Kings decided to say, "Hey, guess what? Fuck you. We're going to get rid of everybody. Bye."
Right.
Yeah, they screwed him. And now the Kings are selling everybody, which I hope to God Brad Stevens calls and goes and gets Sabonis. If you can get Sabonis on the Celtics, this team goes from being mediocre to really good again, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And you bring back Tatum, you are in a good spot. But we'll see. This season is still young. It's only 20 games in. So we have a lot of basketball left to play.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm intrigued to see how this season goes. I think the Celtics just skirt in to make it into the play-in. Maybe they make it into the playoffs. Great. If not, I don't care. I've already said this season was a wash anyway without your best player. But hey, it's the NBA. No one's going to pay attention until the playoffs anyway. Then it
Yeah.
comes basketball.
Yeah.
Um, but let's do the last little bit of this. We have our Country Roads rant
Oof.
tonight. Again, this is only talking about West Virginia. You are not allowed to do other teams or other sports. I need to say that now because people like to do other things. So, Cyrus, you will get to go first. I am ready whenever you are. So,
Right. Okay. Are we
go.
there? So my country roads rant is this. It's not really a rant. It's more or less a thank you to the football team for putting up the best effort that you have in the last couple years and allowing us fans to watch this and go to these games this year and have a feeling of normalcy in the sense of trying to say, we're going to watch a game and we can, whether we win or lose, we know that the outcome is going to be not because of a lack of effort. So I am saying thank you, and you know continue to keep your head up, and hope to be going to these games in the next couple of years, that we see you thrive something bigger and better.
Wow, that was only 51 seconds. Look at you. All right. Are you ready?
Give me a second. That's all I was working on, getting my phone to that point. And go.
My rant right now is on the basketball team. I know it's the season's young. We have already mentioned that losing the games early in the season is not a big deal. But when you go and lose to Xavier, who is a horrible team in the AAC, whatever the hell they play in now,
Mhm.
that sucks. Um, I want you guys to actually win. I want you guys to come out and destroy these teams. That's what these early season games are. So go out, play Maryhurst next weekend, next Sunday. You better bring your A game. I want to see Eagle staff score. I want to see the dominant play that we saw against Pitt. That's what the basketball I'm expecting. Not the huck up a three and run back and play defense real quick. Huck up a three, run back and play defense. That shit sucks. I'm an old school basketball player. I want to watch you guys play basketball. So go out, play basketball. Do the things you're supposed to do. You'll have a good season. Make the tournament, and that's it.
Exactly a minute. All
There
right.
we go. I'm good at this shit. All right. So, since Kevin is not here, I'm going to butcher the ending.
Oof.
Um, but hey, y'all, thank you for joining us again for another episode. This is episode 2 of season 5. We're still around doing this shit. We'll do it until we all decide, hey, it's time to retire or whatever. I don't know, but we'll
Or until I
figure it
get all
out.
gray hairs.
Yeah, until Cyrus gets all if once Cyrus gets all gray hairs, he'll just get cut off the podcast anyway. We'll be like, peace out, you're out, you're too old. No, but hey, you can follow us on the Manly Music Podcast on Instagram. You can follow myself at Merritt_P. You can follow Kevin at Kate Cueva. I've really just screwed his up. I'm so sorry, Kevin, on Instagram. But everyone knows who Kevin is. Everyone loves Kevin. He is the face of this podcast. But guys, happy to have you guys join us again. We'll be back next week or the week after. And mainly because we got the Secret Santa episode coming up very, very soon.
Ooh.
So be aware. I've got all my stuff wrapped. I just have to get it sent out probably this week.
Same here.
So
Same here.
we will be doing that episode very, very soon. But guys, spike your hair. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.